Welcome back to The Frequency Effect. I am here with Laina Goley. She is an FDN-P holistic health coach, among many other things that she does. She is an amazing lady. She believes in functional wellness and is so passionate about mindset, the power of frequencies. Today in this episode, we are going to get into what does it mean to be holistic, to do holistic health, and she's really going to inform us on steps you can take to help yourself get healthy mind, body, and spirit. You're not going to want to miss this episode. There are a ton of great nuggets of information in here. She really provides a lot of value on what you can do on a daily basis to help your health, mind, body, and soul. So stay tuned.
This is a Soaak podcast.
Welcome to The Frequency Effect, sponsored by Soaak Technologies, where inspiration fuels innovation. Join our experts as they elevate your mind, body, and spirit, one conversation at a time. This is The Frequency Effect.
Okay, so Laina, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for a living.
Okay, well, I am an FDN-P, and that stands for a Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioner. I'm also a holistic health coach, as well as a thermography technologist.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Laina and I go way back. We've been friends for a long time. We've worked together for a long time. She is one of our head functional practitioners at our clinics. So I'm really excited to have you on the show and just really dig your brain on some of the questions that I know people want to know, and tell a little bit about your story. So awesome. I want to start with your plane crash. So she was in a plane crash. I know this whole story. I want you to tell kind of a condensed version of it, and then what that did to you as far as catapulting you into what you do now.
Yes. Okay. So when I was 21, I was in a small six-seater Cessna plane crash, and we crashed into a front porch of a house. I was broken everywhere. I should not have survived. They basically gave me 24 hours to live. And the doctors came in with, a grim diagnosis that if I was to survive, I would probably not walk normal again. If I did, it would be with a cane, that I would probably not have kids. I would be blind in my left eye. I broke myself everywhere. I broke my, my left foot, crushed my right heel, broke my leg, my pelvis bones and facial bones. And, But, I had praying parents, and we just believed that the body can heal. And so, even though they gave me that diagnosis, I truly believe that we aren't the diagnosis, that God has the final say. And miraculously, I am healed and whole. And I believe in the body's power to heal.
That's amazing. Yeah. Wow. So from that experience, what do you feel like was like the foundation of what you believe now? How did that really reshape your understanding of how healing works and what's possible?
Yeah. I really connected at that time to, even though things in the natural don't look like you're going to heal, that your mindset is everything and what you truly believe. And I really felt in my heart that if I was to live my life, then I would be able to live and function the way God intended me to. Yeah. And that would be to walk and have the abundant life.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so, yeah.
Wow, what a crazy story of you having something so drastic where basically they were speaking death over you.
Absolutely.
To complete healing and using that story as a foundation for you helping people for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love that so much. So this is something I hear you say a lot, which I love, and I want you to expand on it, is the body whispers before it screams.
Yes.
That's such a profound statement, and I want you to explain what that means and how you use that in context.
Yeah, so every day our body is communicating to us, and we are in the hustle bustle world, going, and we're not even taking the time to think about what is happening. And a lot of things are common, headaches and bloating and fatigue, and we're just we're not taking the time to go, you know what? did I sleep good last night? What did I eat? Did I drink enough water? Or we're usually quickly just grabbing for, I need some ibuprofen. I have this headache, and it's the quick fix,
right?
Instead of just really just taking the time to stop, because to me, when the body is whispering, I believe that that's an invitation.
Yeah.
It's an invitation for you to go deeper and ask the question why. When we start asking the question why, then it opens up for us to feel more connected with our body,
right.
because we're disconnected. Like we're just running around and things are happening, and we are in a state of belief. I believe that, when we are hurting and in so much pain, that's when we slow down and listen, right?
Right.
And so for me, I'm like, no, we want to be preventative. We don't want to wait for the body to scream at us when we can't get out of bed and we just can't live anymore.
Yeah.
We're not waiting for disease to happen.
Right.
We deserve to be walking in divine health.
Yes.
Right? And we don't need to be feeling like thinking, oh, you know what? This is, I'm just getting older,
right.
joint pain and I'm tired and all that stuff. No, we should be living well into our 90s feeling amazing.
Yes.
And so, again, there is that mindset of, that sickness is not how we're supposed to live.
Yeah, it's not normal.
It's, health is wealth. It is our birthright.
That's right.
And that we should be feeling healthy, and if we're not, we need to go deeper. We need to start looking at the root causes of what that is. We just don't want to go and just manage the symptoms, right? And right now, our healthcare system is we're just managing symptoms,
right.
And that's going to lead to other things, because it's like going in your car and the red light comes on and just turning it off when it's telling you there's engine problems.
Right.
Well, if we keep ignoring it, it's not going to work anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of how our bodies are.
Yeah, and I think it's such a common misconception between humans, I guess, is a headache, it's normal, back hurting, it's normal. All those little aches and pains when the body is kind of whispering to you, like you were saying, like we're almost meant to feel like it's just normal. There's nothing to do about it. Let it pass kind of thing.
Right.
But what you're saying is all of these things are like little tiny hints and cues your body's giving you to say there's something bigger coming.
Absolutely.
Do something about it. Be preventative in that moment. So
Right.
I love that statement. The body whispers before it screams.
Yes.
So how would, just if I was a client sitting in your office, what would you tell somebody to listen for? Like, what does that mean? Like, your body is whispering. What could I think in my daily life? Like, what are some things that I could listen for that are like maybe red flags later on? Yeah,
well, the symptoms that you're doing, or even tension, or it speaks through your senses. Mm-hmm. And so, again, when you become in tune, this is what I love about meditation, and you just get quiet.
Yeah.
Again, and you're just taking inventory. And it's a lot of times it's just, I don't feel like I used to. Yeah. I don't know, just something's off. I don't feel like myself.
Yeah.
And so, and a lot of that is just disconnection. And once you start realizing, maybe I just, I'm not drinking as much. A lot of us are dehydrated,
mm-hmm.
And a lot of us aren't breathing,
mm-hmm.
So
short,
we're holding
shallow
our breaths,
yes.
right? So there's different things that we can do, but overall it's a sense of, I just don't feel like I used to.
Yeah.
And no symptom is too small. When I started, the only symptom I had was chronic fatigue. Mm-hmm. And so I just remember, that I didn't have that before. That doesn't feel right, and I, dug deeper, and sure enough, I had some things going on, and people would be looking at me, not you are doing everything right, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
You could be thinking you're doing everything right. And this is, my big thing is there are hidden stressors going on that you are unaware of. Mm-hmm. And I had chronic stress, and I had an emotional stress that was really affecting my health. And it's never just physical, like physical symptoms.
Right.
There's emotional connection there. So again, spirit, soul, and body, we're looking at the whole picture.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next question. How do you see the connection between your thoughts and your beliefs and your physical health?
Yeah. Huge.
Because this is something, sorry to interrupt you, but this is something that is holistic in nature. And you being a holistic practitioner, this is really like the foundation of your treatment planning is mind, soul, and body versus the traditional medical system, which really doesn't ask you how you're feeling emotionally.
Right.
And so I love what you do, and I, can't wait for you to tell people about this.
Your mindset is everything, so how you believe and how you think and truly how you think about the body. I mean, do you truly believe that it can heal? I mean, me personally, I do not believe that we are deficient in pharmaceuticals. I believe that the body knows how to heal. We just need to give it what it needs.
Yeah.
So we need to come alongside of it and support it. And so, sorry, excuse me. So when we are, again, listening to the symptoms and doing the things that the body needs, and we're coming alongside of it, then the innate intelligence rises up within us. We don't need to tell the body what it needs and what it needs to do. And this is why we don't look at the body individual. It all works together, right? The thyroid is not working all by itself. It is intricately connected to the liver and the gut, right? So again, we look at the whole picture. And so in the mindset, again, your body is not broken. And so we're just partnering with it. And I'm helping assist the body. And so, in giving it the nutrients and the minerals that it needs, it's the same. It's the same as with a plant, And we're not. If I start seeing the leaves are turning yellow, I'm not going to go. You know what? I need to fix these leaves. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to the soil. I'm going to go to what's its environment. Does it have sunshine? Does it have the right food? And so, and that's kind of how we look at the human body. We're not going to look at the symptoms. We're going to go deeper. And so,
to the mindset.
But it starts with the mindset and believing that the body can heal.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start doing those things to help assist it and support it so it can heal. Yeah.
So what are some of the common things that you hear that are counterproductive to somebody's healing? Like, you see a lot of clients every day. Do you hear something that people say to themselves often that you're like, stop saying that to yourself? Because I know people do, and we tend to do this all the time. We kind of self-sabotage a little bit. We don't realize we're playing this record of kind of negativity in the head. We're just used to it. We're used to hearing ourselves, oh, I hurt. My back's going to hurt today or whatever. So is there common things that you hear, and what do you tell them to say differently?
Yes. And I tell them, so the minute they'll say, oh yeah, I'm just not feeling good. My stomach's bloating and everything. I'm just like, so your cells are going to align with what you believe. Yeah. So it's so important that even though in the natural you do feel that, it's like you just speak over yourself and you're like, I'm healed and I'm whole. Yeah. And you're just your words are carrying that frequency, and so it's so important that you do not keep owning that as if that is who you are. They're just
flip that script in your mind.
They're just symptoms. And that we do have this self-sabotaging in the way that we speak to ourselves. It's so important because a lot of times we get frustrated with our body. Why are you doing? Why can't I drop weight? Why are my hormones feel like they're all over the place? And truly, that keeps the body in a stressed mode. You're not in alignment with this sacredness, and this is the temple of the Holy Spirit, right?
That's right.
We need to honor it, and we need to know that it's constantly working for us. Yeah. And just that mindset and knowing that the body is working for us, and you connecting with that, and then you giving it what it needs, and you speaking life over it, it really does invite the power of God to come in and just heal you, right? This innate intelligence, really, once we tap into it, Amazing. You just become a vessel for miracles to flow through you. So I a lot of times I'll work with, let's take the time to just think, what are the things you're thinking? What are the things that you're
mindful.
Yeah, because there's just stuff that's just constantly on autopilot. We don't even know. And then a lot of times I'll say, and what is that emotion that you have attached to that? So, and then all of a sudden these emotions rise up. And so let's think of if we shift how we think, right? And so instead of saying, oh my gosh, I don't feel good, and I don't know if I'm going to be healed, and the doctors want me to do this, why don't we shift it to, you know what, I am going to be healed, and I'm going to figure this out, and it doesn't matter what I'm going to do, and I'm going to be divinely guided and directed, and I am going to go out, and I'm going to give the body the foundational things that it needs to heal.
I think that faith alone triggers something in the cell to reproduce and, become more alive and become healthier. Just that faith alone is like powerful.
It is. Oh, yeah.
I love
Changes it all.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about gratitude. I hear you talk about this a lot, and it is like the most powerful, I think, thing you can do in your health and wellness practice, in your mental health practice, in your spiritual practice. So tell me a little bit about how you apply gratitude and teach it to your clients.
Gratitude is one of my favorite things, and they've actually even proven in science that people who have chosen to write out that they are thankful, 3 things in the morning for a year, it literally changed their neural pathways.
Wow.
Right? And so the cool thing about gratitude is it actually disrupts the default mode network in your brain. So it is this part of your brain basically that ruminates on fear and worry and negativity. So if you disrupt that and stop that, how powerful is that?
Yeah.
And then in the practice of gratitude gets you grounded in that moment, in that present moment. And now you've just switched gears from being in that fear mode and sympathetic mode, basically, the fight or flight. And so it just invites this safety and this presence in your body. And again, you're aligning that frequency. It is the most powerful healing frequency.
Yes.
And so I'm like, man, bring it on.
I love it.
We need to do that, right?
It.
So, and connecting to that every day. So that's the first thing. I have a set morning routine that I do with my clients. And just that morning routine honestly changes the trajectory of your day, of your life. Yeah. My goodness. And so, it just invites this, for miracles to happen. Again, you're just setting the stage, and I always say that to be present is so powerful, because normally we go in the past, and where you got shame, you got guilt, you got things that you woulda, shoulda, couldas, and then if you're thinking of, and it doesn't exist, it only exists here,
right? And
then if you're thinking of the future, which is fear and worry and the unknown, right? And so both of them aren't real, right? Today is what you have. Right. You stay in today, and you stay grounded, and you won't miss out on the joys in that moment that are coming to you.
Oh, so
you're able to live life to the fullest when you're present. You won't miss it. You won't miss a thing.
I love that. And something that I love to say is, when you're in that mode of gratefulness, and when you're in that vibration and that frequency of gratefulness, you're attracting the same. You attract the same exact vibration as you are vibrating as, And so if you're grateful for your life and your house and your job and your family, whatever it is you can find that you're grateful for, you will attract more of the like. Which that's like the law of science. They have literally proven that is how vibrations and frequencies work, is they attract the same. So it's the same with the negative thinking, I'm not going to get healed, and I'm not getting better, or whatever may ruminate, you are attracting that same thing, manifesting it in a physical form to you. So it's so important. The gratitude is just something I love. I it's a practice I do every morning is when I wake up. I try to think right off the bat what I'm grateful for. And it's usually my coffee. It's usually the first thing I say. But yeah, it's so powerful.
Yes.
I love
And so,
it.
and the same thing with that default mode network, it's the same thing. It's like a surveillance camera, and it's looking to confirm what you believe, you know, so it's going to bring more of that in. I always say it's like a car, you know, you get a brand new car. You never noticed it before, but now you notice that everybody has your car.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
so
that's exactly right.
It's the same. It's the same principle.
Law of attraction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Love it.
Okay, so the next topic is something that you do. It's your Staple Foundation protocol that you do with your clients. It's called DRESS.
Yes.
So I want you to explain what that means and what it stands for.
Yes. So DRESS is diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction, and supplements.
Okay.
And so diet, obviously, it has a really bad, you know, connotation to it. But I say diet is everything you're taking in. It's your relationships, it's your environment, it's what you're reading, it's what you're watching, it's what you're listening to, as well as food, right? And so when we shift our thought to this negative thing of diet means I can't have something, to food is now information for my cells, right? I say it's either information or it's inflammation.
Yeah.
You pick or choose, you know? It's either poison or it's medicine, right? And we shift our belief around what food is. And it's not about calories, right? It's about what our body needs so that you can show up in this world, right? And so each person is bio-individual. I don't have one set thing that I do, but once, you know, I meet with somebody, I kind of understand, I see what they need. You know, some people thrive better on more protein, others more carbs, but, you know, overall, it's clean eating.
Yeah.
Because clean food, God's food, is high frequency, right? So if we want to elevate our frequency, we need to be eating those fruits and vegetables and everything God ate. My favorite is ancestral eating. And then we kind of, once we get more in tune with our body, I love intuitive eating, right? My body speaks to me. I know what I need, you know, so that's for diet.
Okay.
So rest, so important, right, is sleep. What is your sleep like? We need to be getting 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep. The key about sleep is it's the only time our body's in parasympathetic, which is rest, digest, heal, and feeling safe. The body is detoxing all through the night. Our brain is detoxing. It's called the lymphatic system, you know, and we're detoxing thoughts. I mean, and there is a system. We are on a circadian clock. And the body needs to be detoxing these things. I get pretty Nazi about sleep. It's so important.
Yes.
And they even say that, you know, whatever hours that you sleep before midnight, you double it. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, that is equivalent to 4 hours instead of just 2 hours.
Awesome.
Right?
Wow.
So, and, you know, when you sleep, you know, the next day, I mean, you know, when you don't get sleep, you can't think clearly.
Yes.
You actually crave more junk food.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, just things are off.
It's
you don't
so
feel
fundamental and foundational.
It
but
is.
so impactful
Right.
when you get a good night's sleep.
Right. These are just 5 free principles that, honestly, I have people that just do DRESS. And they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so
changed
much
their
better. And we
life.
haven't even started their labs.
Yeah.
Right. And it's
awesome.
so exciting, you know, and again, it's free.
Right.
So exercise, super important. Again, in our head, it's like, you know, we got to do more. We got to be pumping. We got to be weights. We got to be dying. No. You know, sometimes less is more. Right? You know, walking is my favorite. You know, it's that bilateral stimulation. It literally lowers your cortisol. It lowers your insulin. You know, right now we have this metabolic syndrome going on, which is insulin resistance. It's affecting weight loss. It's affecting hormones. Well, I mean, I see women all the time, you know, I can't lose weight. You know, my hormones got this cortisol going, right? And if we're insulin resistance, our body's going to hold on to that. You know, and just simply walking 20 minutes a day, huge. You know, I've changed it. So now I've challenged myself to do 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to it. I absolutely love it. It gets your body in that parasympathetic state and just So many things, so good for that. But it's also for the lymphatic system. We are the lymphatic system's pump. So you got to look at that as the septic system of your body. So our heart has a pump, our lungs have a pump. The lymphatic system doesn't. It is counting on us to move and sweat. A lot of disease in the body is from a backed up lymphatic system. So we got to be moving and so and I'm very big on, it could be a stressor to the body. So I'm very sensitive that if you are in fight or flight, I'm not going to want you to do anything. I want you to be gentle. Just movement alone. Just, taking extra steps or, doing yoga.
Yes.
And stretching, just simple things.
I love that. I had an experience way back where I did, what was it called? Oh, body pump. So it's a pretty vigorous, like boot camp type thing.
Yes.
And I remember a season of my life where it was like, I wanted to do the hour a day, and they always, encourage you to go up on weights every class or every other class. And it's like a push, like a drill sergeant type of a class.
Right.
And I was doing it. And I remember thinking, I hurt all the time. I feel like I'm being counterproductive because it's like I never feel super strong and healed and like energetic.
Right.
I'm always sore. And so it was a period of my life where I was like, you know what? I do think less is more. I think I'm hurting myself more than I'm helping myself.
Right.
And even my mom loves to work out, and I've heard her say that multiple times, like, I overdid it. I don't need to be going so hard. So what you're saying is it's just the movement. It's just the simple acts of exercise that are the most powerful. It's not like, going up on weights every class and killing yourself to, try to meet a goal or, whatever. So I feel like that takes a lot of pressure off.
It does.
Exercise is just movement.
Right.
Just taking a walk, just doing something simple, taking a 5-pound weight and doing a couple arm exercises or whatever you want to do. That is I'm asking, is that just as impactful on your health as
absolutely
going hard?
Absolutely.
Out of class.
Especially if you already have adrenal fatigue going on, right? It becomes a stressor to the body.
Yeah.
So now the body is struggling. And I love what you said there is that you really were in tune with your body.
Yeah.
That is something that I ask people. After you exercise, an hour later, what do you feel like?
Yeah.
Are you tired and exhausted?
Too much, yeah.
Your body just literally had to borrow some energy from other systems of the body.
Interesting.
And this is why it's so important that we are not, I kind of like call it a bank account. You don't want to pull, be in the negative, right? The body needs all its energy. It's all about survival. And so we don't want the body to have to pull from other systems so that you can get your workout in.
Right. Just to say you did it. And
right.
Clock on your Apple Health or whatever that, you burn so many calories.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Just, it's
take
going
that load off.
outside. Right. Just go outside every day in the sunshine, walk, you'll just start seeing how good you feel. Right. And so, so
that's
there's
awesome.
that. So we got diet, rest, exercise, stress reduction.
That's a big one.
Stressor, the number one killer.
Yes.
Yeah, right. It's the cause of 50% of disease.
Yeah, I actually read an article that said it was like 90 or 95% of doctor's office visits is from stress.
That's exactly.
I'm like, that's insane.
Yes.
Just from being stressed.
Just from
which
that.
I know you're going to tell us, but
Again.
there's free things you can do to
Right.
alleviate stress.
Absolutely. My goodness. Yeah. Again, we have the hidden stressors, right? And so, but when you are in a stress state, your body, again, is in fight or flight. So the last thing it's thinking about is digestion. Mm-hmm. It's not thinking about, procreation, right? Mm-hmm. So the body, in order for you to be, it's thinking you're getting chased by a saber tooth at the moment. It's going to say, okay, you know what? I need to pump blood to all the extremities because you need to get up and run, right? And so it's going to go and it's going to start borrowing from all the different systems. And now those organs aren't functioning optimally. So eventually now that is going to create what I call metabolic chaos in the body. Now you're going to start having symptoms from you just being in that state.
Chronically stressed.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And so you have got to be able to switch over. Our body was meant for stress, right? So there's eustress and there's distress. So eustress is a good stress for the body, where it experiences the stress and then it goes back. But there is a time that stress can stay there and your body stays in that negative loop. So even as time goes on and you don't think you have that stressor anymore, your body's still perceiving it and it's still in that negative, feedback loop, right? You might be unaware, and then all of a sudden the symptoms start showing up. And so that's why my very first thing is we need to get your nervous system regulated. We need to get you in a place of safety where the body knows that it can heal. And then get all those systems in the body working, optimally. Right. And that is where functional labs come in, that I absolutely love, because again, it's preventative. It's giving us a look in to see what is not communicating, what is not working. Right. And so, and then we're looking at the hidden stressors, which is hormones, immune system, detoxification, digestion, energy production, and nervous system. So we're looking at all these, right? And so then again, I always say, and then we support the body in these areas, and the innate intelligence takes over. Your cells know what to do. We don't need to tell them what to do, right? And so that is why I love functional medicine, because we don't know what we don't know, right? Until we dig deeper. And blood is only a snapshot in that moment.
Right.
The body's always trying to keep the blood in homeostasis, right? So this is why we want to dig deeper so that we can assist the body.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so stress. So then there's one more S.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry.
No,
I get so
okay.
excited and I'll go on and on.
I'm like, it is SS,
yes,
I thought.
right.
Yeah.
Supplementation.
Supplements, yes.
Which I actually say is the pinky, right? Because we don't want it to be that now we're throwing a pill for every ill. Then now we're like the medical system.
That's not the norm for people to say that. The norm is pills.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, sometimes it is easier to just take a pill than it is to like really dig deep and do the free things, the things that are really fundamental.
It's so
true.
I
love that you say that, because it's powerful and you don't always need a pill.
You don't.
Yeah, but you need good direction.
Yes.
And you need to know what's going on.
There is a time and place
you can
for
fix
it. Absolutely. If you have leaky gut, we're going to have to give your body some of that, nutraceuticals, to help heal.
Right.
But again, for seasons, right? It's an unfortunate thing that we live in a nutrient deficient world. Our soil is so depleted. The chemical sprays are, have destroyed a lot of the nutrients that we need. So we do need some foundational things.
Yeah.
And, but I switch in and out. Again, this is where I go to that intuitive kind of like, well, what do you feel that your body needs?
Right.
Again, you're listening to those soft whispers. And so, yes, so I feel that there is a time once we figure out what we need to do, but then we can shift out into maintenance, right? And then reassess what we need to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take on supplements.
I love that approach.
Yeah.
I love that. So, okay, so tell me, when somebody comes in and they do the dress and they're just not quite getting better with just doing those foundational things that are free, what would be your approach to like a deeper dive, or what would you do if somebody's not getting better off of dress?
Right. So that's when, the functional labs that I was talking about, I do believe, just like Hippocrates said, all disease begins in the gut. We have an incredible lab that really shows what's going on there. The gut houses the immune system. There's your Army, Air Force and Marines and all your fighters, right? And so it's so important that we are looking under the hood. We're taking a deep dive and looking at that. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to start seeing where the breakdown is in communication and what things, because about your symptoms that you're saying that you're dealing with, and also just again fine-tuning maybe some of the lifestyle things that they're doing, and honing in a little bit more on again, are we eliminating the stress? what are we doing at home? What kind of foods are we taking in? Do you have food allergies, food sensitivities? And so, we look at the whole picture.
Yeah. So as far as functional labs, what type of modality do they use for functional labs? Is it all blood testing?
Oh, yeah. So some of it is blood
what
testing.
Can people expect?
But yeah. And so we do, there's saliva, there's urine, and there's even poop.
You get it every way you can.
Yeah, right.
Well, I know that. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, then we get to deep dive into our own, stool and see what's going on there. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a great solution because, like babies, for example, you don't want to draw a baby's blood, or you can't necessarily get a urine sample because if they're in a diaper, I remember going through this with my child. So I know there is solutions that it's like for every age, for every type of person. Maybe you don't want your blood drawn. Maybe it's not something that you like. So there's other options.
Yes.
For functional lab testing.
Absolutely.
That's why I asked.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So what does an initial session with you look like? If somebody wants to come in and meet with you, what would be like the first step that you do?
Okay, so that's when I sit down with them and we talk and we deep dive. We even go all the way back to when you were in utero. I mean, it's like, again, we go deep. I mean, your health is accumulative. It's not, this just didn't happen overnight, whenever your reason is for coming and seeing me, right? So, so I'm going to ask all the questions, your medical history, your lifestyle, your relationship with your family. What was your relationship like with your parents growing up, your dramas and traumas, and I'm going to get to know you, and so, you can't figure out somebody in 8 minutes, I need to take the time. And so it's a good
an hour.
Yeah. Right? It's a good hour. Yeah. I'm going to say sometimes I go over, but it's a good hour, cause I'm wanting to get to know you and really, again, you're bio-individual. It's not a cookie cutter.
Right.
I'm not just going to whip out something. It's going to be for you.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm going to go over I'm going to go over dress.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out what you're eating, what you're drinking, what are your cells swimming in.
Right.
And I'm going to educate. And again, knowledge is power. So when after you leave, I'm going to email you a bunch of PDFs on diet, on nervous system regulation, on recipes and different exercises. It's
incredible.
Because I want to empower my clients to take control of their own health, right? Don't hand over the keys to somebody else to take care of yourself.
Right.
You have the power within to heal yourself. And I want you to believe that when you leave. I want you to leave with so much hope to know that it's going to be a journey, but you're going to be healed, And so that really is my passion. And I get so excited when people come in. They probably think I'm a little crazy, but they'll call me and we'll go over like the last month of just what they did and implemented. And I'm just like, what? Oh my God. And I get so excited,
That's so awesome.
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
Without it, we have nothing. So,
That's right.
if I can assist you in your healing journey, then I'm happy.
Yeah,
that's my passion.
That's amazing. Well, I can tell you're so passionate about it. And I know for firsthand, you are so smart and you know so much about all of this. So tell our audience how people can get a hold of you or your office, how they can reach you.
Okay. So yes, I have 2 TikToks right now. One of them is Laina G3 and the other one is Align with Laina.
Okay.
And you can call Soaak Clinics. The number's 918-551-6600. And I do telehealth, Awesome. It's even if you're not in our area. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. This has been super informative, very helpful. It makes me excited to go do the dress thing.
Awesome.
Every time we talk, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get my life in order. So thank you so much for being on. And
thank you for having me.
We'll hope to have you back.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your time with us today. After you've subscribed at Soaak Podcast, please leave us your questions and comments. Remember, your frequency is what you think about most frequently. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.